in a mobile home or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
Oh my God. So are we going to do this anyways?
Yeah, we're going to do this. And my name is Matt Rudisell, and I've been a business owner for the past 24 years, helping others get what they want out of life. I help people and businesses grow with the help of one-on-one coaching, social media assistance, and planning that will get them to that next level. But instead of working with you myself, I developed this podcast to share with you what others are actually doing. These people are your neighbors, your friends, could also be you. But do you consider yourself an expert? Do you know someone who is? Have you ever wondered what it takes to become that person? Well, today, in this episode of the Experts Game podcast, our guest will share with you the struggles, hardships, and successes they've experienced on their way to becoming an expert in their field. You don't want to miss it, so grab your notebook and pen, and we'll get started in just a moment. Hey guys, Matt Rudisell here, and I am your host for the Experts Game podcast. I want to welcome all of you guys back. Today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Ruben Garcia out of the, that's you, out of the Fayetteville, North Carolina area. And I'm going to give a little brief introduction to Ruben, but I'm going to let him tell you his story because, number one, he can tell it so much better than I can. And I'm sure I'm leaving out a few things. But I wanted to start off by just saying that Ruben used to work at UPS. You worked there for about 12 years and, delivering packages. I know how difficult that can be because I see our UPS guys and Amazon people at 8 and 9 o'clock at night. But after about 12 years of that, he decided to go into full-time real estate. I think you went to J.Y. Monk Real Estate School, which I did as well. So I remember that many, many years ago. And since that time, he has done some great things in real estate, developing teams and even getting more into the training process, which is what kind of connects both of us a lot because we both really enjoy people, we enjoy training. But some of the things that stood out to me in his bio was the fact that he's got MAPS and Corcoran coaching background. So Barbara Corcoran, some of you guys may know who she is from, she's on Shark Tank, but a lot of you may or may not know that she's one of the biggest real estate brokers in the New York area. And I think that's kind of neat. And one great thing to have on his resume is that in 2015, he was Rookie of the Year in the Fayetteville Regional Association of Realtors. And I think that is huge because to get started the first year in real estate and then do so well that you're on top compared to all your peers out in the area. And I know there's a lot of peers in that area. Then I think that's really good. He's also received some Keller Williams awards. He is now with EXP Realty. And one of the brightest things I think that stands out on his resume is that he trains with EXP World. And I think that's really awesome. So, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have you here today. We've been friends for a pretty good while, and I'm just glad you're here on the podcast. So I'm going to let you take it away. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, first I want everybody to know that he legit could get hit by a tornado right now. And I said, yo, do you want to continue this? He said, yes, let's keep it going. And they're literally saying, get under or find shelter now, and he still got this thing going. So kudos to you, my friend.
Well, I was really surprised when I got the notification. It is absolutely beautiful outside. The sun is shining, and if we start seeing things fly across the space, then maybe we'll stop. Then maybe not.
This would be such a gangster podcast if there's stuff flying by the window and we keep it going. But I'm safe. So anytime
Awesome.
you're like, time to sign off, you just do that. But I want everybody to know that, because that's an extreme detail to know. Yeah, no, everything you said, awesome. I'll say that it wasn't just me. That definitely surround yourself with the right people at certain stages of your life, because first stage, second stage may not be the same people as sixth, seventh, eighth stage of your life, you know. But that's important. So I know all that was kind of thrown at me, but it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't surrounded myself with the right people and they were kind of telling me things to do. They say success leaves clues, so I was just picking them up. I was just picking those clues up is all I was doing. But yeah, everything you said is good. What do you think your audience wants to know here? Who do you know? And I'll just kind of move into that direction.
Well, a lot of times I'll ask a few questions based on, maybe what got you to this point. Why did you choose real estate? I guess let's start there. Why did you choose real estate as your career?
I had zero passion for real estate. I didn't want to get into it. I didn't. I'm that person. You know. I know you hear people that say like they love houses, they love working with people. All of that, not my story. It was a means to a way out. That's all it was for me when I first got in. Like you said, I was working at UPS. It was the path I thought I wanted to go, not the path I end up wanting to stay on. So I decided to change paths. A couple of people said you'd be really good at sales. So I said, man, if I'm gonna sell something, might as well be a house versus a phone or something like that. So that's what really got me into it. I looked it up, 75-hour course at JY Monk, like you said, which is now bought out, by the way. But yep, I mean, and I just jumped in there and surrounded myself with some great agents there that are now killing it in real estate now. But how lucky was I to be able to surround myself with those people at that time? And that's what got me into real estate. It was a means to a way out of my situation in terms of welfare living, basically, and living or getting myself out of UPS, which I did not enjoy as we started getting to the end of it. Not so much in the beginning, middle, but towards the end, I wasn't enjoying it as much.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people find their careers based on just that. It's a reason to maybe move out of something else. But I think what inspires me the most about your story and what I've learned from you over the years is that it's not just about selling houses. You've diversified a lot. You've grown. You've progressed into certain areas, and we'll talk about some more of those a little bit later on. But when you got started in real estate, I mean, like I said earlier, you were the rookie of the year in 2015. What do you think made you the most successful at that time?
Consistency, and you might hear that from a few other people too. Although it's not sexy, sounds boring. Consistency for sure, because I was working at UPS at the same time when I first got into real estate and hit that rookie of the year. But man, I didn't find excuses. I found solutions. If work was in the way, then all I did was find ways to stop what I was doing at my job and learn more about real estate. So maybe I had to use the bathroom a lot. I would always find ways to dive into real estate. And that's what I would say it is just diving into staying consistent of reaching out to your friends, your family, the boring stuff, the stuff we hear all the time. But I just stayed consistent. I didn't get blinded by too many shiny things where I wanted to jump left, right, left, right, left, right. I just stayed consistent on talking to people and being uncomfortable. I know one of the things that they were telling us to do is, I started this class that KW is pretty big in called Bold back in the day. I couldn't speak for it now. I don't know what it's like now, but man, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know. But they told me, dude, like you talk to 100 people a day. That's crazy in my world. But I didn't come up with an excuse. I just came up with how can I do it? And that's what I did. I just stayed consistent, listening to other people and took action on what they wanted, took action on some of the stuff that they said. And I had a big enough why. And there's a quote out there that says, if your why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. And I just focused on how I was going to get it done, not how I wasn't going to get it done. It was just consistency every single day, even when nobody's watching.
So I want to talk about that a little bit in just a second, but the consistency, we'll talk about an average work day and things like that. But I want to throw out something that you posted this morning. And I think you posted this maybe on Facebook or Instagram, but it says, I used to feel so devastated. At times I thought we'd never make it, but now we're on our way to greatness. And all it ever took was patience. Patience and consistency. It's amazing to me. I feel like things happen for a reason. I've always felt that way. I feel like you can be in one situation. If you focus on certain things enough, you will find other situations around you that are very similar. A great example is I had a call this morning, another expert, and I mentioned this guy who trains me, one of my mentors, and he said, "You've got to be kidding." He said, "I just heard about him yesterday and I've been studying him, and I can't believe you're talking about him today, because now everything seems to kind of mesh together. It all makes sense." And this quote, I saw this is the first one I saw this morning on patience. Immediately within 20 minutes, I saw 4 or 5 other things related to this. And I'm like, wow, that's maybe something speaking to me saying, Matt,
Right.
you need to be patient. You need to be patient. But that's what you're telling me that you've done. And because of your consistency, just keep doing it over and over again, your patience in waiting till it happens, you've been successful. And that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted you on this podcast, because you are truly an expert. So I definitely appreciate, things like that just kind of come out of nowhere and that make the world, make a huge amount of sense and stuff. So let's go back to your average workday. I see posts from you. I get texts from you at all kinds of times during the day. Most of them are consistently in the morning, early.
That's
And
my time.
I know you've been very consistent with beating the sun and doing that. So tell me about your average work day.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about this today. But just going back just a little bit. I got this quote in front of me because you said success, and you said I was successful, which I always get a little uncomfortable with, because I'm just, in my eyes, I'm not yet. I'm not yet. But you don't ever know who's watching you and who can learn from you. So, but I got this quote that my wife put up that says, "The struggle is guaranteed, the success is not." So it's guaranteed you're going to be in crap, and it's going to be this consistency, and you got to be patient. The struggle is guaranteed, the success is not. So when you said that, I looked up there, I was like, wow. But a daily, so the way my day runs is 98% this way. Every single day, 98% this way. I wake up at 4:45, and 4:45, 5 o'clock. From that time I wake up to 5:30 in the morning, I do what I call my Corvette. I run my Corvette, which is CVETT. So I look at my calendar, what's going on today. I look at my voicemail. What did I miss yesterday that somebody may have left a message for? Emails, same thing. By the way, only if these things are going to be impactful in my business or personal, or I can impact someone else. If it's just junk, then I'm not opening it. So voicemail, email, text messages, same thing. And then T, the last T for Corvette, is tasks, which rolls me into my 5:30. My 5:30, I open up my CRM, gives me my tasks for the day or my follow-ups for the day. From 5:30 to about 6:30 or 6:45, I set up my text messages, because we run 100% text messages. So I set those all up depending on who they are, what do we need to talk about, all of that. We run no automated systems. It's a real conversation I want to have with people. So from 6:45, my 2-year-old wakes up around 7, and I get her up, get her dressed, make her breakfast, potty time because she's 2, brush her teeth, the whole deal. And about 8 o'clock, I send out all those text messages. And then I start conversations from 8 to 8:30. And then from 8:30, I leave. I go to the gym. I work out. I start my appointments around 11. So from 11 to about 4 p.m., here we are. I do all my servicing business, so just appointment stuff, and then that's it. And then
Wow.
5, 6 p.m. I'm at the house hanging out, which I'm at the house now, but I mean, like, I'm present at the house. And then it's literally like that 98% of the time, every single day. My phone stays on silent. It doesn't ring. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't do anything because my calendar tells me what I should be doing, with who I should be doing that with, and the conversation, everything. So it stays on silent because my life is very, very structured, which I love it. I call it the freedom structure because there's freedom in this, but that's what my day looks like.
Yeah, aren't those digital calendars wonderful?
Love it.
I don't know what I would do without some of them. Sometimes I mess up and I feel like I forgot to plan something. I just look at my calendar and there it is. And sometimes, unfortunately, this is not very smart. Don't ever do this. But unfortunately, I've looked over at my wife and I'm like, you forgot to put that on the calendar. and I then regret that I even said it. But things like that are very important. It's important to have structure. It's important to have consistency and all of that. Let me ask you a little bit about some of the future diversifications you've got now. I know that that you have a few Airbnbs that you've expanded into. I think you're very big on diversity. Explain a little bit of that to me on what you like to do.
Well, the whole idea came from what happens if I die. And if you know me, you know this, like, you've probably heard this story before, but I just want to create something that if I died, could it still run without my presence? Could my family still be taken care of in terms of financially? And so I just went heavy on focusing on that. And obviously most of that is a passive income play because I would be dead. So we focused on short-term rentals or Airbnbs as cash flow. A few other things we're doing now, which is part of the reason why we moved out of the last firm, focusing on that type of stuff as well. We just bought an RV that we're going to be renting out, that we have a manager for, that actually I'm meeting shortly after this. All of that is designed to run even our sales business. We call it the pass play because that's why we run 100% text messages, is because if I die, it could still kind of run without me. You're not waiting for a phone call of me. It could be a text message. So everything is designed in case I die. Yep. And that's what got me diversifying, is just looking at different options. And now you're hearing agents who are freaking out because inventory's low and they're not making as much. And it's like, okay, at some point it's your fault. At some point you have to say, man, I got to diversify. But to keep blaming something and hoping it changes without you changing doesn't make much sense. You got to start diversifying. And I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I wish that I had done some of that earlier in life. I think diversification is very important. I mean, all of us have heard, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but the reality is we need to adhere to that. There's so many opportunities out there today. We don't live in the 20 and 30 years ago where you had one job and then that's it. I mean, most of us have multiple things that we do. That I'm a trainer and I'm also a real estate broker. So I'm honestly putting in probably about 35 to 40 hours a week in both positions. But one big thing that you mentioned is freedom. And that's why we do it. We do it so that we can have that freedom. I don't think, next year is my 25th year in teaching and training.
Wow.
And coaching. And yeah, that's something I can't even imagine doing that for 25 years. But actually it'll be the end of this year. In December, I'll start my 25th year. And the freedom is why I did it to begin with.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that freedom, you've got a 2-year-old, I've got some older kids, one of them turns 22 tomorrow.
Wow.
And then I've got an 18-year-old, and then we've got a 5-year-old as well. But if we didn't have, if I didn't have time freedom, I would have missed out on a lot of things in their life. Doesn't mean that I don't have to work, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock sometimes as well, because I do. You're a morning person. I'm a late night guy. And
Right.
I have been, pretty much all of my life, except for maybe when I was in middle school and high school, I used to get up early. I hopefully will one day do that again, but right now I find myself getting a lot of my work done in the later parts of the day.
Right.
But I think that's fantastic. So I know you've got some Airbnbs. The RV is awesome, by the way. I saw some pictures of it the other day. Checked out that model online. I'm like, wow, this is great. Lots of space. And I know you haven't announced it, but I know what you're going to do with it. Maybe you have announced a little bit of it, but it's just amazing the opportunities there. And I applaud you for all that. Plus, one thing that hasn't been mentioned today is that Ruben 100% has made it because he's got his own merch line.
I'm rocking it right now.
And he's wearing some of it right now too. So, he's got some really cool shirts. I don't know if you got any hats yet or not. I don't know if I've seen those, but I did see the shirts online, and any state that you're in, you can get one with real estate on it, but some other stuff as well that really, will motivate you and help you get going and stuff. So I applaud you for all that diversification. I think that's really, what's going to carry you to the next stage.
Yeah, and I'll say for anybody, the cool thing about this is that anybody could do it. I mean, it's super simple, and I'll go ahead and give the formula. One, be with somebody that you can brand yourself. The first firm I started with, I tried branding myself. They were like, no, no, no. It was very much that. And so I was like, man, but that's what got me leaving and going to KW at the time after that, but because you could brand yourself or whatever. But I say all that to say, man, branding yourself is huge because you can move past, like you just said, helping people buy and sell. You could brand anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you could put your brand on anything and sell it. The cool thing about this, it doesn't say my name, right? Because I know I'm not that important. This is going to resonate more. The state was saying real estate. And here's the formula for anybody that wants to do this. Go to Fiverr, FIVERR.com, pay $5 for somebody to make a logo or some design. You don't even have to do it. It's a write-off. And then go to tpublic.com, upload your file, and now you have it on shirts, stickers, laptop cases, phone cases, kids' clothes, adults, male, female, different colors. It just goes on and on and on. And you carry zero overhead, and you carry zero of the actual item. TPublic does it all for you, and you get paid a commission. So anybody could do that, and it all costs $5. It's crazy. Anybody could do this.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. That how simple and easy things can be if we just look for the answers. Okay, here's a tough question. If you lost everything today, maybe you're sitting in my seat over here and this tornado comes through and everything's gone. And no, the weather's still perfect. They said until 4:30, so we've got about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
And you lost everything today. What would you do tomorrow to start over?
I would definitely, I want to say network, but that I would immediately start making friends in areas that I want to rebuild in. Start making those relationships, start asking them questions, and then whatever they tell me to do, I do. And that's it. Because I've not lost everything. And there are people who have, and they had to start over. So I would listen to them because they've already done it. They've already written the book. in their head, or maybe they really wrote a book. And I would just follow that process. That's where I would start. I wouldn't try to reinvent it. I would just follow the clues. But I think networking and I think people is the best asset that you can have. It doesn't cost anything, and all you have to do is take action on some of the items that they told you to do, and that builds rapport, and that builds trust, and that builds confidence, and so on and so forth. So I think that's what I would do first.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am going to steal one of your answers for one of my final questions. But what you just said in there was, look at what other people have done. Study people that have maybe been there. And I think that's a huge tip for any entrepreneur, whether it be in real estate or training, coaching, or building a widget, a product, anything. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just go out and find out what other people have done. Don't copy them, but emulate them. Model your business after what they've done, and I think you'll see success a lot quicker. Okay, great answer to that question. Here's one that might throw you off a little bit. What's one thing that most people might not know about you? Maybe it's a hobby, a special interest, but you don't broadcast it much. What's one thing that you might want to share with everybody? If there is anything, you don't have to, but.
Oh, no, you're good. I know. I do. I know. I need to do a better job of posting more personal stuff, which I do a little bit of, and I'm getting a little bit better. My kids never used to be on social media. And now it's like playing with that. But if I were to kind of take a step back, some of the stuff I used to really, really, really enjoy, I have stopped doing over the years, because I feel guilty doing them. I feel guilty that I'm not building what I need to build for others, for myself, that I need to get back to work. And that's a problem, probably. But some of the stuff I truly enjoyed doing was drawing. I would draw all the time, and it wouldn't be color. It would be pencil or pen. And I got books and books of just drawings and drawings. And I used to just love turning on music and just getting lost and allowing whatever my brain said to draw, I would just draw. I haven't done that in a very, very, very long time. The other is I loved playing the drums. I do not play the drums anymore. I do play it on occasion while I'm driving. Probably shouldn't have said that. On my steering wheel, I have drumsticks in my car. But yeah, I would say those two things I do not talk about because I don't do them much anymore. It'd be hard to think of something I do outside of an everyday grind, which I have this video on YouTube. It's called How do you take a vacation as an entrepreneur? Because that's difficult, and it can be difficult for people who are in that grind mode. And the only way that I have found lately that works for me and my family's on board and everything else is I set an appointment in that location with somebody in the morning. And so I feel like I got my fix. I feel like I progressed. I moved forward in some way, and I kind of get my fix, and then I can enjoy the rest of the time. I think it's how I'm wired, though, man. As I've grown up, I guess I have slowly let go of some of the stuff I used to enjoy, and I feel like it's a hard wire. Without it, if I didn't do this, then I don't know who I would be.
Okay, so just to prove that this happened this morning, I was about ready to give you a tip for how to make vacations work, and you just said exactly, almost word for word, what I said in an interview this morning. So you can watch it back when it airs.
Okay.
And that was it. That's what I've been doing with my vacations lately. A lot of us struggle because we like, we've got a vacation starting on Saturday. We've got to work our tails off this week to try to get ready for it. And then we go on the vacation, all we're doing is we're thinking about all that stuff we forgot to do or that we needed to do. Now our vacation's over, we're home and we're back in the grind again, and we didn't enjoy anything. And that's exactly what I've been doing. The last few vacations I've been taking, I've had an appointment in the middle of the vacation, maybe just an evening appointment or something. And what it does, it gets me that fix, and I'm good for the rest of the time. I'm able to enjoy and, experience what's going on out there. I'm not thinking about anything else. So that is so wild that you said that, because it's exactly what I said this morning. And it's funny, the one I did this morning, they'll probably air back to back, and
Okay.
people are like, oh wow, what in the world? That's the crazy.
And I'll say, like, I think we're taught that it's a bad thing to do. I think we're taught that, like, if you go on vacation, you should relax and you should take care. My first year, rookie of the year, I had this lender who would just say, you better get sleep. You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. And I'd be like, get out of my ear. Like, that is not what I need to hear. It's just grind time right now. And I've never burnt out. And I've been doing this because I think we're wired this way, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that we want to progress on a vacation. Not a bad thing. I think that's what helps us enjoy the vacation. So I think that narrative for some people is true. For some people, it's not. But I think we're taught that. And so we feel guilty at first. And then we're struggling with internally who we really are, and just be who we are. We'll enjoy it. We'll have a better time.
Wow. This has been awesome today, Ruben. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the interview. I've got one final question before we move on. And I hope that everybody watching this has been able to get, some good tips out of this. Not only have we learned what's made Ruben successful, you've given us ideas and things that we can do to make ourselves successful too. So I definitely appreciate you moving in that direction with this podcast. Final question. Do you have any tips, maybe one or two, for aspiring entrepreneurs, whether it be in real estate or coaching or training or whatever?
Done is better than perfect. So you just need to take a step into the unknown. You could talk about how it's going to be. You could research your butt off. You could visualize what it's going to look like. All that's, there is some value in that. I was going to say, oh, that's crap. No, there is some value in that. There is absolute value in that. But it honestly doesn't mean jack unless you take action. So just tell yourself, done is better than perfect. Just move forward into it. Nothing we have created has been perfect. It has definitely been this disaster left and right, but the disaster exposes the gaps. If we can expose the gaps, we can fill the gaps. And that's only from taking action. So done is better than perfect. Let's see if I have it on this one. I don't have it. I got these bracelets that I'll wear, but it's basically the number one is greater than 0. And all it means is 1 is greater than 0. Something is better than nothing. So the advice, if I could grab you guys virtually and grab you by your head and shake you, is just take action today. You can listen to this podcast 4 billion times. It doesn't mean jack unless you take action. So that's it. Just take action. Go forward. Screw up. That's part of the game. You should be screwing up. I want you to screw up. Failure is a great thing. Done is better than perfect.
Ruben Garcia, thank you so much. Appreciate it today. That is fantastic. Great lessons for everybody listening today. And if you are listening as a first-time guest, we appreciate you being here. Please make sure you subscribe so you'll get notifications on our very next interview. And if by some chance you feel like you're an expert and you want to be part of this this broadcast, please let me know in the comments below this video. I'll put some of Ruben's information down below. You can get in touch with him. I think he's got a link tree that I'll throw on there, and it tells you everything you need to know about Ruben Garcia and where you can find him. And once again, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah, no, thank you for obviously bringing me on. I just need everybody listening to take action. That's it. That's all I want.
Perfect. Have a great day, Ruben. I appreciate everything, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.
Lit. I'm the producer.
I love these.